Hey guys, it's Thursday. It's Morning Joe and the Pro. Great show today. We've got mid-major Matt from sportsmemo.com as well as Tony Finn from WagerTalk.com. Like always, I'm the Prez, Lawrence Presman, co-founder of WagerTalk, owner of Sports Memo, WagerTalk, and the Gold Sheet. Also wearing my FIT shirt in support of my daughter who is in New York at FIT and actually doing really well. Thank you all for asking. What we're going to do today, we're going to talk one college football game, two baseball games, and two NFL games. And maybe if we have time, we'll take a stab at tonight's NFL game as well. I want to bring in my guests, Tony Finn and mid-major Matt. Tony, I talk to you every day. I know how you are. You're tired, overworked, cranky, miserable, and married. All negative things. Mid-major Matt, we'll go to you. How you been, my brother?
I am single, miserable, sick, overworked, underpaid. Is that it, right? Did I forget anything else?
Yeah, can we have something positive? Tony Finn, did you get laid last night? Give me something, dude.
I haven't been to bed yet.
Oh, and it shows.
I know it does.
Yeah.
But it's and as you can tell, the WagerTalk, the Las Vegas WagerTalk office here, we had our tackle football game this morning, and they said, "We're sorry, Tony, but we don't want the liability of having you included." So I wore my jersey, and look, never mind.
Okay, Tony Finn is making jokes on this show.
Okay,
guys, let's get straight into the college football.
Yes.
We're gonna talk college football right away. Then we'll talk about what's going on at WagerTalk.com as well as Sports Memo, and then we will give out a promotion and then back with baseball. Matt, we're talking Maryland Temple, and Maryland. Well, they looked really good last week. They played Syracuse. They absolutely annihilated them. I happen to be misfortunate enough to be on Syracuse, but that's going to happen. They find themselves at -7, which is a 1.5 point line move from the consensus opening line of 5.5, with a total of 66.5. And well, there's going to be games this year where Maryland's going to get close to 66 themselves. I'm going to go to you first. What do you like in this game?
Well, I hope that Maryland's for real, because as a Syracuse alum, I hope that the beating we took last week was actually worth it and actually, going to lead to something. But you've got a Maryland team that's playing against Temple. They've lost the last couple times to the Owls. I don't know what to make of this Temple team. They beat Bucknell, who's really bad. Then they had a bye week. What we do know about Rod Carey teams are they play defense. They've got a solid offense with Anthony Russo at quarterback. The other thing we know is there's not going to be much of an atmosphere. They play these games at the Link, and Temple fans will show up in a little bit, but there'll probably be as many Maryland fans there. So I don't know how much of a home field advantage it is. I'm not a believer in Maryland in terms of I don't think this could keep going. So around this key number of 7, I'd probably look at the home dog potentially in this one.
He's Matt. I'm the Prez. Guys, before we get to Tony's thoughts on this game really quickly, as we've been having sound issues for the last little while, I am taping the show the old school style without the graphics and the new school style. I don't know which one we're going to use. So if you do see the show without the graphics, that's because the sound was better. Tony, what do you like in this Maryland Temple game?
Well, I don't like a lot that I'm going to recommend someone invest their hard-earned money. Again, I liked Syracuse last week. I think we talked about that on the show here, extensive in length for the time period of the show goes. I think the line speaks to this game. In truth, I thought when I first looked at the line, I thought it seemed a little low. I reviewed some of the numbers, and Matt's right. There's a lot of unknowns still about Temple. I'll say this: the Temple team is well coached. They're sound. They're talented on both sides of the ball. They are capable of playing. It would seem with Maryland, but Maryland's offense. If you want to believe that what they did against Syracuse is something that is measurable, then they have to be the favorites here. I'm going to agree with Matt on this. I have to believe that that Syracuse. It was Maryland that lived in the backfield last week, not Syracuse, which really surprised me.
Yeah, I like the over in this game. You know, Temple can score, and Maryland already showed they can score. 66.5. I know that's high, but it's college football. We see 80s on the board. This game has been bet up, though. Consensus opening line of 62, and it's now 66.5. We've lost a lot of value in that over. I still like the play, but I only like it at maybe a half a unit because of the value lost. But I still think this game has a real shot at getting into the mid-70s. Tony, anything to add on that?
No, I agree with you. And the value has, in truth, if you did like the over, it should have been bet earlier this week.
Matt, any thoughts on the total in this game?
Well, I really I was a Josh Jackson guy. Here in Virginia, I dealt with a lot of Virginia Tech fans who weren't in love with Josh Jackson, despite the fact he threw 21 touchdowns and 9 interceptions his freshman year. I really like what he can do. He's prone to the mistakes, so if you're going to take the over, you hope he throws some of those interceptions and has some of those fumbles he's had in the past. If he's on his game, though, I do lean to the over, although, as you said, some of the value is gone with it going up.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be right back. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on at WagerTalk, and then we're going to take apart 2 baseball games and 2 NFL games. Guys, really quick, Tony Finn. He's unbelievable in both NFL and college football. Up this year, up every year. One of the best handicappers we have, and reams of analysis. If you buy his plays, you will get literally a book on why he's betting. We actually keep telling him to stop writing so much, but he doesn't listen. So when you buy his plays, you're going to get more analysis, trends, statistics, systems, and injury reports, news, etc. than pretty much anybody else. He's got a big card up for this week, and you can get it for only $49 for the next 3 days. It's normally $79. You can have his next 3 days of plays for $49. Use the promo code FINN49. That's FINN 49. Head over to WagerTalk.com and make sure to get down on that. It doesn't get much better than Tony. In both these sports, use the promo code FINN49. Okay, boys. What is going on at WagerTalk.com? That is the big question. We got a big week ahead of us. Tonight, Tony Finn has today he's got an early baseball play. We've got some action on the Belmont Park race report, so don't sleep on that. And Dave Koken, he has a college football 5% play up at WagerTalk.com. And Ralph Michaels, this is probably the play. This is it. This is the one. This is his first 5% play in college football. And Ralph is just doing so good. And you hear him on Morning Joe and the Pro. He is so talented. It is ridiculous. Also, really quickly, just to make mention, the NFL presidential address is up. Kelly Stewart and myself take a look at every single game on the board for this coming Sunday and Monday, including tonight's Thursday game. So check that out over at Wager Talk TV on YouTube. Our college football betting show is up. Teddy, myself, and Dave Koken look at 15 games. That's also at YouTube, Wager Talk TV. And of course, Morning Joe tomorrow with Jeff Oskheim from Oskheim Sports and my co-founder, Marco D'Angelo. And talking about Marco D'Angelo, guys, bet on it with him, VR, and Kelly Stewart is the most watched NFL handicapping show on the internet. Last week was its inaugural show. It did literally 35,000 views. This week it'll probably close in on 50,000 views. I would, of course, watch my presidential NFL address first, but if you have more time, check out Marco VR and Kelly's bet on it. Guys, let's get into some baseball. Tampa Bay Rays against Texas. Tampa Bay is the away team. They're minus somewhere around 145 with an over and under of 10.5. They did lose 10-9 to Texas last night, but they have won 6 of their last 7 games, and they're holding on to the wild card spot by the skin of their teeth. Texas is playing good ball, Tony. They won last night 10-9 against Tampa Bay, and they've won 5 of their last 6. We've got Allard versus McKay on the mound tonight. McKay's not pitching well. Last 3 outings, 9 innings, 6.52 ERA. I like the over in this game slightly. I'm not going to get to the window at all in this game. Where are you going?
I'm not in the window on this game either. Much for the reason you just outlined, and that was that there's not much value here. McKay is the better prospect. He's a better pitcher at this point. Even the struggles he's had, he was a little better last time, at least in his first outing since returning to the majors. But at $150 on the road, you saw it yesterday. This Tampa Bay staff is a little bit tired. They're spread out. They're still hanging on. They're still fighting for this wild card spot, and they're still in it. But Texas is a tough place to pitch there at Globe Life, and I stay away from it. I would say if you're gonna venture into this game, that you might have a strong play on the over as you suggested.
Matthew, what do you like, my friend?
I might take a look at the Texas run line tonight, plus the 1.5, because I'm not a big fan of Tampa Bay's lineup. I feel like they're really hot or they're really cold. Allard's actually been pretty good his last couple starts. He's not a terrible prospect for Texas. I think that once again, we could see a lot of runs scored in this game, and I might take a shot with the home dogs run line here and hope that McKay keeps struggling, especially if he only goes 3 or 4 innings. And then, as you said, they've got all these guys that they're going to throw in there for an inning, half an inning, a third of an inning, whatever it is. Texas might be a live dog in this one, but I might play it safe and go with the run line.
He's a mid-major Matt. You can find him at sportsmemo.com and Tony Finn and myself at WagerTalk.com. Let's talk about the LA Dodgers on the road. Away from their home, they're 38-33 on the year. They're playing Baltimore tonight. Minus 240 at some books. There's even a minus 255 at Sports Interaction for the away LA Dodgers, and the over and under is 10. LA just lost to Baltimore 7-3. They have won 2 of their last 3 games. They've won 6 of their last 9. Baltimore just keeps losing. They've lost 6 of their last 7. This is a really, really bad team. Rich Hill on the mound. Really good season so far. I mean, hasn't pitched a ton. 4-1 win-loss record with a 2.5 ERA. He's facing probably the most inconsistent pitcher alive, Dylan Bundy. He could go out there and pitch a shutout, and he can go out there and be pulled before an out has taken place. Go to you first, Tony. What do you like in this game?
My goodness. You mentioned it. Stripling, I think, pitched. He hasn't pitched very much this year. He's been in and out. He's been injured a little bit, and they're using him this time of year simply because they're trying to set up they're trying to slowly take it easy. They have on Rue and Reed, many of their starters. You'll notice yesterday they used a lot of their prospects after Stripling. And in this game, you're probably going to see the same thing from Hill. He's been injured many times. I think he pitched a simulated game on Friday, and I think that he's going to probably pitch 2, 3, 4 innings tonight, and then they'll go right back to the September lineup or the extent, So at this point in time, I don't know, Ted Bundy. Every time I see the name, I think of Ted Bundy, and I really have a hard time. I think I've bet Baltimore 1 time this whole season. That'd give you an idea what I like, what I do with Baltimore. Typically, I pass right over them.
Matt, I can't play this game. You picked it for us to talk about, so clearly you've got something. Go ahead.
Well, yesterday was probably our opportunity to take the Orioles with the hangover after clinching the division, and as of course they won 7-3. I'm not a big Rich Hill guy, and the fact that he's only going 2 or 3 innings, you've talked about it. I've actually been on Bundy several times this year. I've been on him when he's been really good, and I've been on him when he's really bad. I'd love to see. This is one of those games where I want to see the Dodgers lineup. Maybe they sit Bellinger. Maybe they sit some of these guys. Of course, they'll have the DH. I might be interested once again in the Orioles tonight, potentially either in the first 5 innings or the whole game. I want to see how the Dodgers approach this and kind of get an idea maybe how long Hill's going. I've read 2 innings. I've read 3 innings. So maybe Baltimore's potentially a live dog tonight because if you get the good Dylan Bundy, then maybe he shuts down the Dodgers. But hold your nose if you do that.
And that's the thing. It's very well said, Matt. I actually think Baltimore is live right now. I think the hangover will last a couple of games. I think it could last right up until they get home. LA is not playing for anything at all right now. So, I'm with you on Baltimore being live. And you shrunk on the screen, which I can't figure out why, but I've just adjusted you, so you're back. Guys, let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll get to some NFL. Hey everyone, last break I told you guys Finn49 for 3 days of Tony Finn's All Sports Plays. Make sure to check that out. I've got a play tonight in the NFL. $5. That's it. $5. Head over to WagerTalk.com. No promo code needed at all. We're giving it out as a very special offer. I am 2-4 on the season, so expect some winners. I think I'm going to have a big week this week. I've got a play in tonight's Carolina Tampa Bay game. It's only $5. You can get it at WagerTalk.com. And also, we spoke about this yesterday. Andrew McGinnis, $99 for the rest of his Canadian football season. The guy's 62% in Canadian football. He's going to do better in Canadian football than any of us do in NFL or college football. And there's at least 2.5 months left to go in that sport. So head over to sportsmemo.com. That promotion ends on Friday night. It's only $99. Boys, let's talk some NFL. Tony, you wanted to talk Dallas and Washington and Kansas City and Oakland. So let's start with the Dallas and Washington game. Dallas came out a consensus opening line of -4.5. They've been bet up to 5.5. So there's more money coming in on Dallas. The over and under in this game is 46. And, you know, I've spoken a lot about this game. You can hear it on the NFL presidential address. So rather than I get into my thoughts, I'm going to go straight to you, Tony Finn. What do you like, brother?
Well, I hesitate to overreact in week one, as we should, and most of us do. And the Dallas was impressive. They did basically anything they wanted to do, guys, on that game. So they go to Washington, and I think Washington got a little too much credit early on with guys now injured. This team's really a mess. Let's just be completely honest. This team's a mess. Last year they started 6-4. And were even considered, hey, they're 6-4, they're a playoff. 6-4 was a mirage, a complete mirage. They ran the ball effectively, and they played defense. But if you looked at their underlying numbers, they didn't tackle well, they didn't turn people over, they turned the ball over. And in truth, this Dallas team is head and shoulders better than Washington. I think 5's a lot in a divisional matchup to give in week 2, but I'd be laying this. If I was on this game, I'd be laying the number with Dallas right now.
Yeah, and, you know, my initial thought at the beginning of the week was Washington plus the 5. And, you know, the more I think about it, and listen, we're hearing some rumblings out of Washington that the players don't even want to play for Gruden anymore. I mean, he's a lame duck coach. There's a lot of chemistry issues inside of the dressing room, and the team is really struggling on a whole. I think your point is really fair. Dallas is just so much better than Washington. I don't want to take 5, and I don't want to lay 5. You know, my initial thought at the beginning of the week was Washington, but I'm going to straight lay off of this game. Matt, what do you like?
Well, I'm going to make a play actually on the total, so I'll talk more about the side. I mean, I've covered the Redskins the past couple of years. I've been at training camp for them, and you know, every day we're talking to beat reporters and stuff like that. You know, I want to believe in the Redskins, I do, but I don't like the fact that Jonathan Allen's out. I don't like that Darius Geis is out. Although you're going to get a highly motivated Adrian Peterson now to see if he has anything left in the tank. They actually should have ran the ball more. You know, Eric Flowers is a dumpster fire when it comes to pass blocking, but he's not a bad run blocker, and him and Donald Penn were actually mauling people when they were committing to the run here. You know, Jay Gruden after every game says, oh, you know, I should have run the ball more. And every week we say, yeah, you need to run the ball more. I think this is the type of situation where they can go ball control, keep this thing going, and maybe hang in there because, you know, it's a rivalry game and it's the home opener, so plenty of Skins fans will be there. I would say if you made me pick a side, I'd lean to the Skins at home, but I don't really love it.
He's Tony Finn from SportsMemo.com, Mid-Major Matt from Tony Finn from WagerTalk, Mid-Major Matt from Sports Memo. His image has been moving around during the show. I fixed it. It's going to stay still. Matt, stay still.
Not going anywhere.
Okay, Tony, Oakland versus Kansas City, and this is a super interesting game. Kansas City looked really good offensively last week against Jacksonville, and I think Jacksonville is a better defense than Oakland. Oakland looked really good last week against Denver, and I think Kansas City is light years ahead of Denver. With that said, Kansas City really does struggle on defense, and they will all year. The bottom line, honestly, is I think any team in the league can put over 20 points up against Kansas City, and I think Kansas City is going to average in the 30s. I'm not going to play this game at all, but I do lean on over the total. It has moved from 52 to 53.5. But I think, we saw last week the play calling coming out of Oakland, and it was exceptional. It had rhythm, it had flow. They really kept Denver off guard the entire game. I think Oakland is going to score. David Carr looked phenomenal. I mean, he went through his progressions, his reads. His footwork was exceptional. He didn't panic when a pass rush was coming at him. He got the ball out early. I think we're going to get a high-scoring game in this one, Tony, but I can't lay or take on the side.
It took all of 3 offensive plays last week from Mahomes to find the end zone and start defending that MVP title. In truth, you're absolutely correct. Jacksonville, on their worst day, has a better defense than Oakland. And what can we say about it? Listen, Kansas City's defense is going to get better, I believe, but they're always going to play soft. They're going to try to turn you over. They're going to let you throw underneath and hopefully make a mistake. And they'll face plenty of teams that will do that. Oakland's one of them. I still have a lot of questions about Oakland, but the one thing I can say, I was on Denver last week in that Monday Night Football game, and I was surprised by a couple things. One, that Oakland won without turning Denver over, and 2, that Denver didn't turn the ball over at all. Which is a big step up from last year's Denver team. So that said, I couldn't agree with you more. This is a big number to lay again in a divisional matchup, almost a dime in the black hole, the grass. I promise you that grass in the black hole is going to be about a foot long. They're going to do everything they can to slow down the speed of this Kansas City Chiefs team. So that gosh, it'll be fun to watch because us here in Vegas we're going to have the Raiders next year. So it's going to be something that whether we like them or not, we're going to have some fun with them.
Matt, what do you like in this one?
Well, I was on the Raiders last week because I thought team unity, the whole Antonio Brown stuff is going to bond them together. They're going to play well for one game. They're going to put all their stuff into it. And it went according to plan. I think Oakland's going to have a talent deficiency against most of the teams, a lot of the teams in the league. They lose Conley probably. Abram is hurt, the safety. They've had all sorts of injury type things. Josh Jacobs is a nice running back. I do like him. I really wanted to fade Oakland this week. I was hoping they were going to be on the road because I figured they poured a lot into Monday to show everybody that they're over Antonio Brown. I can't do that at home against Kansas City because I'm not going to lay that many points with the Chiefs on the road. I'll be interested to see if Oakland can keep this up for another week, or else was that just a blip in the radar last week and saying basically Denver stinks.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about a lot on the NFL presidential addresses. Everybody calls week 2 overreaction week. The problem is it might not be overreaction week. It might be right reaction week. That's what we don't know. We don't know how good or bad Pittsburgh is. We don't know how good or great New England is. We don't really know how bad Miami is. I mean, we know they're bad, but they're not 52 points of offense bad. I can't make heads or tails of this Denver team yet. I mean, they made some drives in the second half that ended in field goals where they were moving the ball at will. And Oakland, conversely, they had some drives in the second half of that game where they couldn't move the ball at all. I don't like calling week 2 an overreaction week. I like calling week 2 a let's see what happens week. So I'm with you, Matt. This game is really, really tough. This is one of the toughest games on the schedule as far as I am concerned. Guys, really quick, we did not discuss that we were going to talk about the Carolina-Tampa Bay game. It is tonight. Tony, do you have anything on this game?
I don't have anything on this game, but I sure have a lot of interest in it. I want to see Cam Newton throw the ball downfield. If I'm Tampa Bay's DC, I'm going to press coverage on these, basically make them bump and run. I want to see Cam Newton throw the ball further than 20 yards downfield. Can he or can he not? And if, again, this is the time we're going to find out. You say it's a let's find out week. I say, listen, a good capper knows what was the overreaction and what isn't overreaction, as you just described. So we're going to find out. I don't have anything on the game, but I'm going to be watching closely.
Matt?
Well, I never like backing the road team on a short Thursday night, and certainly I want to see Jameis Winston if he's going to throw any bad picks. Will he actually get yanked yet? And how much will they use Ronald Jones? Like, let's be honest, Peyton Barber's not their best running back. Ronald Jones is, but for some reason, they just keep going to him, and I don't understand what Bruce Arians is doing. I'll probably watch this game much like Tony and kind of use what I see for future handicapping.
Guys, thanks so much for joining us. Tony, dude, you're overworked. Slow down on the live betting stuff. You don't need to say yes to every opportunity that comes your way. We're in the middle of football season. You need to sleep, Tony.
Yes.
With no disrespect, we can see how tired you are and we can hear how tired you are. It's a compliment to you that you are working your tail off, but you've got to find some balance in your life. Matt, as far as balance goes, find yourself a woman, a fleshlight, something to help, feel better, sleep, drink some chicken soup. That's what the Jews do. Get some emergency. We got a big week of betting ahead of us. Guys, make sure to check out the NFL presidential address with Kelly. Make sure to check out the college football betting show with me, Dave, and Teddy. Morning Joe tomorrow. Jeff Oskheim from Oskheim Sports and Marco D'Angelo. Tomorrow's show will be really fun. Marco is going to rip the crap out of me. So make sure to check that out. And as far as the promos goes, 3 days of Tony Finn for $49. Use the promo code FIN49. I have an NFL play up for tonight. The promo code is non-existent. Just go over there. It's $5. And same with Andrew McGinnis, no promo code required, $99 for the rest of his Canadian football. Gentlemen, it was a real pleasure. Matt, I hope you feel better. Tony, I hope you get some sleep. Listeners, please comment. Please respond. Please join me on Twitter at Prez WagerTalk. I'll be sending second half bets out on Twitter on Sunday. You're all awesome. I love you all. The show and all of the shows I do mean a lot to me. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Good luck this weekend, guys.